This is another K Factor Recorded show. So,
Beat money.
my name is Kazon, and I'm in charge of the K Factor. Welcome. Always, for any questions or concerns, you can reach me at kazon@gmail.com. That's kazon@gmail.com. In order to support this channel, Kazon Senior, followed by the $. Also, Zelle, but I don't have the pass through up at this moment. Special shout out to the ones that has donated to promote this channel, those that have subscribed to this channel, and most importantly of all, from the best of my knowledge, always willing, if nothing else, they do hit the like button. And that I'm greatly appreciative.
Beat money.
This is just going to be a pre-recorded show, give you a general idea of how we're going to move through the week. We are starting this week off on Monday, April the 20th, 2026. This show is being recorded at about 3:43 a.m. in the morning. We're going to just use this as a YouTube post, if you will.
Then creep.
What?
What's that, sir? I'm not in front of the computer to get it.
Beat
I'm
money.
sending it to your lawyer so that we can argue.
Okay. You should have
So
been
what
doing
was it?
this. You should have been doing this all last week. You should have been doing all
That's fine. Don't matter. As long as I do it before 1 o'clock tomorrow, it don't matter. The sooner, the later, the better, because it's fresh in her head. How about that?
Okay. Let's talk about
What
this. What are you trying to do? Because you're moving too fast.
I just want you to give me the address. So I can get it.
2155 Bent Creek. I don't understand.
2021 55?
Yes.
All those numbers? 20215?
Yes, 2155.
Beat money.
2155.
Thank you.
2155.
Bent Creek. Right?
I feel like I'm finna burn up in hell right now.
Oh, shut up.
And you know what? Under his fate and faith, that's fate and faith. Under his now, that boy might really swing by old hot house hell after what I heard on last week. It just froze me up for the week. A real bothered information. In other words, I'm a man. And I be wishing sometime, ever since I was a little boy, and understanding right from wrong, terrorism from heroism. I always wanted to be the one to ride in on the horse to save the day, save every child, save every abused woman, every abused child, all of them, be there to be a hero. And then you come across, let me say this, I came across some very, very, very heartbreaking information if it's true. And because I'm related to the human family, like most of you, I lean towards the side it just could be true. Nesto has said some things that has troubled me, although I could not articulate them in a way fashionable enough to really say out of my mouth. Again, there was a congressman or a senator on the subject of children's, let me see, what can I say here? I don't think you can say this word. Taking pictures of children under the K factor hanky panky law. A senator says, you may not know it, but you do know it when you see it. In this predicament, or in Nesto's predicament, I didn't see it, but I heard it. There's something that he kept saying from time to time. Said it to Shirley, he said it to Sonya. I call it the pre-setup before the attack comes. When Nesto always says, I don't want nobody looking at me all side-eyed. I don't want nobody looking at me like I'm guilty. I don't want nobody to be suspecting me of doing something. Although he never really said he did not do it. And in the process of him talking about that side-eye shit, he once told Sonya, he said, yeah, I wouldn't want you looking at me all side-eye in the case that something came up. And I only could assume that he was talking about if something came up with her granddaughter. I don't think he would have tried that type of shit with Sonya's oldest daughter, although he might have, allegedly. But the way he always say about this side eye, and mainly with people with children, girl children at that, kind of made a radar go off on the wall of my head that something sounds funny here. This side-eyed, if I didn't do something, I'm going to be up in somebody's shitty tearing up some shit. I said up in somebody's city tearing up some shit. He doesn't react that way. He mainly reacts in a way as if, I mean, look at it this way. Look at it this way.
Money.
Look at it this way. Look at it this way. If you're grown and you have a child that seems to be not quite what, I don't want to use the word normal, but the child is struggling from something. It baffles me how the first thing and thought that comes to his head about his daughter was not to put his arms around her, hug her, sit her down, feed her. Let her, if you can, just get to speaking of what might be wrong. Unless, MFer, you're the reason why there's something wrong. Slow down, mother. It kind of moved on me after Thursday's show. I just couldn't really find the strength to carry on. And the new positioning of one of the bloggers that I know I have brung up. Because they brought me up a couple of times. That's the reason why. But by the time I listened to a particular blogger, question and explain to Sonya her new position now, that after listening, or in her case, reading, a lot of us was listening, but it was read by this one particular blogger here. I think Sister Pam Esquire did a more efficient, deep down dive, legal, using legalese at that. I love that about Sister Pam. I love that about her. That's her classroom. Just real quick. Let me explain something real. One thing about being in the Department of the Arts, sociology, law, history, genealogy, if a nurse, or better yet, if a cardio, what's the word, vacillant? In other words, if two doctors were sitting down conversing on the heart and all the elements it takes to make up the heart, I don't have no right to sit down at the table with them, break the conversation up because I want to render an opinion. Are you kidding me? I'm not in that field of study. My father, my aunt, and my grandmother was on my father's side, but I'm not. I'm a historian. My primary interest is American history. I'll save the rest of that for another channel on another day. You should not, still on the subject of Sister Pam for just a second, you cannot go, that lady's art is law. So by the time the sister read it off, and then later on, catching up with this sister here, she read it off. She said it triggered something in her about her own life. I couldn't help but to wonder how many other people found themselves triggered by such information that was being read off the case document. I think the part that really threw my weekend off is the part where Nesto is alleged to have told his daughter or informed her that he wanted to have sex with her and produce a child to strengthen the bloodline. I'm gonna let that marinate for a minute.
Beat money.
Hey, daughter, let's get into bed. I want to get into bed and do it to you. And I want to let myself go inside of you in the hopes of producing a child between me, daddy, you, daughter, to strengthen the bloodline. My goodness. My heart went out to that child. I don't care if she is grown. So you don't get cussed out over here. So you don't get your feelings hurt over here. I strongly advise you, don't leave no comment talking about, well, K Factor, she a grown woman. Tell you something else too. I seen this particular blogger change her positioning on, oh, well, if somebody do something to you, you ought to just run to the police. Hey, women, sisters, ladies, girls, if somebody attack you, you just run to the police and tell them. Knowing sometimes that's easy to say, could be very complicated to do, depending on the family setup, living arrangement, believe it or not, financial arrangement. See, all the families need a K factor. Somebody who ride at dawn. For righteousness now, not no bullshit, righteousness. Come on, daughter, let's produce a child and strengthen the bloodline. Sick mother. And whatever happens to you, if you done that, which I'm leaning you did, if you done that, boy, whatever happened to you, Nesto, it just happened. I won't lose not one dip of sleep. I've lost enough from the read off of your actions you allegedly said and did to your own child. Allegedly and assuming.
Beat money.
So the plan is to swing through here tonight, somewhere between 7 and, I really need to try to get up on this at 6, but I think I have a few things I need to do for my daughter. I said, I think I have something to do. I need to take apart for my youngest daughter I need to call my oldest daughter. She has a new development in her business she wants to run by me. I need to make the time and let the oldest one run that business idea. I have 4. That's the oldest one. The baby wants me to come by her apartment and take her bed down and bring another box down because she said, Dad, bump this. I'm coming back home. I said, child, ain't nobody told you to leave in the first place. What are you doing? You see what's going on out here? My second to the oldest daughter, I'm trying to talk her and her fiance to move into my city. Because of their field of study, I think they'll do very well. And my third daughter, well, she thinks I'm not quite understanding. She assumed I haven't been in her shoes before of her getting along with people of higher power where she work at. And I'm trying to assure her that sometimes, although it's not traditional, you have to fake it until you can make it. And I do hope for her that we can get her the equipment. She gave me a little list of some things she thinks she's going to need. It's my job as dad to go in and check it out and let's see what we can get her so that she can be on the road of success. 4 daughters now. I felt bad for that child. You understand? And it sounds like the little bit that they read off, I'm willing to bet, although I don't have any proof of evidence as it stands right here tonight, that is not anything that just got started and could play a very part into why the girl be spazzing out. You go get, first of all, stop. Stop sticking your pencil in your child first. Second of all, put that damn camera down when the Hanks and the spirits are coming upon her. In other words, a mental breakdown. Your first thing should not be, I'm going to record her in the middle of her ordeal. No, to me and the K Factor crew, we call that a setup. You're trying to set something up. Therefore, I hope you get that shit back in 2, 10, 12, or 20 fold. Pick one.
Beat money.
My name is Kazon. I'm in charge of the K Factor. This has been a pre recorded show to inform you that we shall be back here tonight as soon as I kind of work on how and what. Because I'm about on the verge of getting myself in some trouble. I despise, let me say it again, I despise that I hurt a child. Men, in case you didn't know, this maybe might even go over on my other channel. You picked up some nasty, nasty bad ways, slavery. You picked up some nasty ways from your oppressors and then have the audacity now to try to make people think your daughter's just crazy. When all along, allegedly, you're the one that done ran the poor child over the edge. You're the one. You're the weak of the family. That's all I have until later on this evening. We're sitting at 52 degrees on a clear morning here on the Gulf Coast, Pensacola, Florida, where I reside. Any questions or concerns, please reach me at kazon@gmail.com. That's kazon@gmail.com. KAAZON, the @ gmail.com. And to support this channel, $ Kazon, KAAZON, Senior, capital S, little aura, as in railroad. That's all I have for right now. I shall meet you back here this evening once I decide on which avenue we're going to travel down. Is that fair? I think it is. Peace until then.
Beat money.
Come on. Come on, daughter. Let's do something. Yeah. So we can stretch the bloodline. Thick bastard.
Beat money.
Shout out the phone calls from prison. Shout out the phone calls from prison. Also, before I go, should have been done first. The copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. This content is used for purposes such as criticism, comments, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, or research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All rights belong to their respective owners. And that goes for any and everything I've done played on this channel. Thank you very much. We'll see you. Have a good and safe day. And stay away from anything that look like Nesto. Understand? And his side chicks. And her.
Dent Creek, what was it? Dent Creek what? Drive?
Manor.
Manor. Should I look up? Okay, Manor.
First of all, I don't know what you're sending that for.
Because jurisdiction.
Beat
Because
money.
they try to say, well, he was a resident of Roswell. No, he wasn't a resident. He lived in Alpharetta. So I'm just trying to tell you as far as what they may try to say for jurisdiction. First of all, it doesn't matter where you live. It matters where the crime was committed. But they're trying to say, oh, well, he lived. No, he didn't live in Roswell. He didn't. commit a crime in Roswell. So why is Roswell even investigating anything about this man?
There you go.
So that's my point. So, but if she doesn't have an address, she can't say everything. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand.
Okay.
And they still have enough time, a whole damn 2 weeks, to get my phone record to see exactly where I was at.
Beat money.
They should have had enough time to do that.
Yeah.
But like I said, I don't know. We'll see. All I can do is just leave this shit up to God. If it's I'm being honest.
Aw.
Yeah,
Y'all be doing that?
Yeah, because they don't let you talk that much.
That's
Been doing this all last week. Should be doing all
that's
night.
fine. Don't matter. As long as I do it before 1 o'clock tomorrow. It don't matter. It's already it's on public record what your address is.
I know it. No, it's not. They don't have it. They keep putting that same bullshit on there.
No, it's not. Ben Creek is on there.
Okay,
Isn't that the address?
Yes,
that's on there.
Money.
Okay.
That's what. If you look up Shirley Strawberry and you look up all her lawsuits, it's under Ben Creek. Your address is on there.
That's on there. That's it.
So I mean, I wrote it down. It's just not in front of me. What's the his address? From when? When was that? When? From what? When did you move into that place?
Okay, 2020. No, December 2019.
That's when you moved in Ben Creek.
Yep. The 18th. Won't forget it.
To June, right? Y'all still there in June?
I don't need to talk too much now because they take the information you say and put it for their own shit.
That's fine, but that's jurisdiction. It don't matter. Here's the thing. You don't do anything illegal, so it doesn't matter about your address.
Yeah, okay.
So don't. That's nothing to be, hush hush on.
I'm just.
I know they got you scared all around, but I'm just saying that right there, exactly. That right there is just your address. You did not live in wherever Roswell. What's that shit called? What was that? 22, right?
22 what?
That's when you was there still. So you got arrested, right?
What?
Your address is the same.
Yes.
Okay. What was Ben Creek?
What?
What's that for? I'm not in front of the computer to get it. I'm sending it to your lawyer so that we can argue.
Okay. You should have been doing this all last week.
That's fine. Don't matter. As long as I do it before 1 o'clock tomorrow, it don't matter. The sooner, the later, the better because it's fresh in her head. How about that?
Okay. Let's talk about
what are
you trying to do? Did you move?
I just want you to give me the address. So I can
2155 Ben Creek. I don't understand.
2021 55?
Yes.
All those numbers? 202155?
Yes, 2155. 2155. 2155.
Ben Creek. All right.
I feel like I'm finna burn up in hell right now.
Oh, shut up. Ben Creek, what was Ben Creek what? Right?
Manor.
Beat money.
Did I look up? Okay.
First of all, I don't know what you're sitting there for.
Because jurisdiction. Because they try to say, well, he was a resident of Roswell. No, he wasn't. He lived in Alpharetta. So I'm just trying to tell you as far as what they may try to say. First of all, it doesn't matter where you live.